This is the story of Ben Reed, a philosophy major who went from mapping oil fields to building what he calls the command center for outbound, and how that journey led to ReviOps, a data platform powering some of the fastest-growing cold email agencies. We'll walk through Ben's unusual path, what ReviOps actually does, the results early customers are seeing, and how his media ecosystem quietly feeds the whole machine. Ben started far from Silicon Valley. He studied philosophy and political science at the University of Pittsburgh, then went straight into door-to-door fundraising in Detroit, learning how to handle rejection and sell face-to-face. Within a year, he jumped into energy tech, taking senior sales and marketing roles at companies like SourceWater and Subsurface.io, eventually becoming chief operating officer and helping drive a successful acquisition in the oil and gas data space. Alongside those roles, Ben kept launching new ventures. He calls himself a 14 times founder, with plays in oilfield data, consumer beauty, sales coaching, and multiple B2B SaaS products, often spinning up ideas fast and iterating in parallel. Fast forward to 2025. Ben is deep in the cold email agency world, and he keeps seeing the same problem. Agencies running dozens of client campaigns across Instantly, SmartLead, Lemlist, and more, drowning in spreadsheets and scattered CSVs with no single source of truth. ReviOps is his answer, a client data platform built specifically for outbound agencies and B2B go-to-market teams, designed to sit above all those tools and act as the command center for every contact, campaign, and account. Under the hood, ReviOps deduplicates contacts across platforms, normalizes campaign metrics, enforces do-not-contact lists, and tracks everything at the company level. It plugs into tools like HubSpot, Zapier, Make, and even exposes a full API and model context protocol support for advanced automation. Crucially, ReviOps is built around agency workflows. Each client gets an isolated workspace, but the agency still sees everything in one place, with shared do-not-contact rules and dashboards that make scaling to dozens of accounts feel manageable. Even as a tiny, likely bootstrapped team of around 4 people, ReviOps already has paying customers. Beanstalk Consulting reports cutting list-building costs in half and tripling team productivity, and one agency says they had to pull back on outbound after just 3 weeks because growth spiked so quickly. This is a narrow niche, but the signal is strong. ReviOps shows up in independent GTM playbooks. Ben is listed as an Instantly expert, and agencies like the Deal Lab and Cold Emailers are betting their data layer on it. ReviOps uses tiered pricing that starts with a starter plan, but there's no free trial. Instead, every plan includes unlimited support, training, and a private Slack channel, which is classic early-stage B2B. Fewer customers, more hands-on success. Instead of chasing press, Ben leans on owned media. He posts on LinkedIn several times a week and hosts the Next Gen Sales Leaders podcast, with more than 46 episodes featuring outbound and GTM operators who look a lot like ideal ReviOps customers. Around that, he runs the Next Gen Sales System School community with roughly 1,300 members and weekly coaching calls. The community, consulting, and podcast form a flywheel that builds trust, funds development, and quietly sends qualified agencies toward ReviOps. For all the momentum, this is still a very early, almost certainly bootstrapped company. The upside is focus and founder control. The risk is execution capacity, and the fact that larger, well-funded players could move into this space with more resources and brand recognition. Ben Reed's path doesn't fit the usual startup narrative. He's a philosophy grad turned oilfield operator turned sales coach and SaaS founder, building a very specific tool for a very specific problem. If you run outbound at scale, his journey is a reminder that the best infrastructure often comes from people who have lived the mess themselves.